Good afternoon and welcome back to Gaia was a fetus, part 9. And this is actually, for now at least, going to be the last part of the biology side of things. But it is also part 1 of, what was I going to call it? Quantum physics is biology inverted. Alright, so this video is going to act as a shared electron for anyone who understands what the fuck that means. Okay, so in my last video, oh no, that's what I had to tell you first. So I was watching back one of my other videos. I'll show you. It looks like this. And in that video, I actually had said how fluoride started being added to our waters in 1945, which is actually like from 1946 onwards is when the Sarah Rose's her development was done. She was 37 weeks. Mary was 37 weeks pregnant at that stage, which means all the development of the baby, of Sarah, of Gaia, whatever you want to call it, was completed. And from that point onwards, it was rapid growth. So I thought that was very interesting. That was happened to be when that last ditch attempt at control came into place. Anyway, moving on to what this video was about. And in my last video, I mentioned, do I want to start with that? No, actually, you know what? I'm going to add that bit at the end because that's where it turns from biology into quantum physics. So this video was just actually going to be talking, which is also, it all ties in. Everything ties in. You'll get the point. So anyone who likes numbers and numerology and stuff will know that 11, 22 and 33 are master numbers, and I just thought it would be interesting to see what was going on in the pregnancy at weeks 11, 22 and 33. So oh, that's not actually the start, is it? Oh, down here. Okay, so at 11 weeks gestation, so at 11 weeks, Bub stops doing jerky sort of automatic movements and starts stretching out and learning and moving in a more fluid state, right? The bones begin to harden, and not all of them, but a lot of the organs, like the kidneys, are functioning. So Bubs' kidneys are taking in some amniotic fluid and then peeing it out back into the amniotic fluid. Anywho, so 11 weeks gestation, keeping in mind that we're learning to move fluidly controlled and that we've got functioning organs and stuff. 11 weeks would have been the year 572 AD, all right? So then if we look at what happens in 572 AD, I found it interesting that Britain, Asia and Mesoamerica, I'm probably supposed to understand what that was country-wise, but I don't. Anyway, irrelevant. So all three of those, they all had new leaders taking over in that year, which I found interesting. All right, 22 weeks. Bubs looks like a mini newborn. I think has thinner skin and stuff, but otherwise, appearance-wise, looks like a little mini newborn. And also, at 22 weeks old, Bubs can perceive light and dark, like the difference between light and dark, right? And the lungs are preparing for breathing. They've got this secretion, I don't know, something happens in them so that they're ready for breathing, and their teeth buds form. So when Sarah Rose was 22 weeks along in the pregnancy, that was the year 1144. And so in the year 1144, keeping in mind Bubs can now see the difference between light and dark, I found that interesting that in the year 1144 AD was the first Gothic church. It also was the year that Pope Lucius, is that how you say his name? The second? He was the 166th Pope, came in to being a Pope. And also it was the first when the first Knights of the Templar stronghold came into play too. Now I'm on this page. All right, so 33 weeks of development. The lungs are fully developed, the brain's maturing, and the bones are getting harder. And so when we were 33 weeks along, it was the year 1716. Now, that was a big year, and considering that that's when our lungs are developed and our brain is maturing, there was too much for me to say. So once again, after you've watched this, type into your fucking search engine what happened in the year 1716. And again, I just did from January to March, and these are only a couple of things, but it was a leap year for both the Gregorian and the Julian calendars, but the Julian calendar was 11 days behind. The Aurora Borealis could be seen, which are the northern lights. And so, considering our lungs are fully developed, I thought it was interesting that because the auroras are when the sun's particles collide with atoms in the atmosphere, and then it creating oxygen and nitrogen, which that's a funny coincidence. I can't see because of the sun. Also, it was the first attempt of bringing Christianity to Buddhist Tibet, and a new leader of the Eastern Orthodox Christian Church came in. So what happened? Child. That is what happened on a biological level. Now, what I had started to say, because this is where we cross over into quantum physics, because 11... Alright, hang on. Let me just fucking regroup. Okay, are you going? Yep. So, since I started my journey looking into this theory, the ratio that has come up so often is 1 to 2, right? Now, should I explain that first? Okay. All right. Towards the end of the last video, I mentioned about how Mary Magdalene was sexually abused by her father and brothers, right? So, because of that trauma probably would have created gene mutations in Mary Magdalene, which have been passed on to us. Don't sting me, whatever you are. I got stepped on a bee this morning, the poor thing. It stung me, but it's sad that they die. Anyway, so the thing, what time we went? Okay, that's right. So there's some of the gene mutations that we've gotten, but the other thing is, right, because everything actually exists at the same time, and there's not really actually a past, present, and future. And don't try and understand that, because yes, I understand it now, but to explain it, just anyway. Because it's all happening at the same time, and because Mary Magdalene's mother knew what was going on, even though... Okay, so the guilt that Mary Magdalene's mum held for knowing, and, yes, that happened before Mary was pregnant, but because it all happens at the same time, and because Mary's eggs developed when Mary's mother was pregnant with her, the gene, like the DNA that we received from those eggs, because they were, that was her mum's matter, I guess. We still feel that. So anyone with the mother's DNA, the grandmother's DNA, even though it's so hard to explain. Give me a sec. No, I'm going to attempt that again at another time, like in the next lot of videos. But what I want you to know is that everything exists on a biological and quantum level. They are an inversion of each other. So what that means, like, all right, no, I need to regroup. So stay tuned for part 2 of quantum physics is biology inverted. All right, goodbye.